I'm here with Dahlia and with Jason. Hi guys, how's it going?
Good.
All right, thanks for having me. This place is beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Oh man.
We're stoked to have you here.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
So what inspired you guys to put a restaurant down here?
Well, we started with our restaurant at the Naked Pig, and that went really well. And it's a very small space because Jason and I are very much independent. Everything we do is independent and you know, all human energy oriented. So our space was really small, but our preservation program was really big, and we needed to house it somewhere.
Just like the Naked Pig, where we are on the crux of the Sofa District, kind of the ambassador, the entranceway into the Sofa District, which is the arts district of downtown. And then also being in a building that has a lot of history. This is from the 1900s, and it was a mercantile building, so it's got a lot of good ghosts, I think, and a lot of good bones. And so we like to accentuate the bones of the building instead of ripping it all out and trying to make things modern. We like to...
That preservation philosophy that we have extends beyond the food, and it's actually also about our interior spaces that we live in, and just in general lifestyle. We're looking at preserving what we have, using what we have, being resourceful, and therefore sustainable, so that we're not creating a bunch of waste that, you know, in the landfill that makes our bodies toxic.
It's preserving and transforming.
Yeah, transforming in a way that's respectful to our heritage, to the past, and everything that has been done for us in terms of creating, so that we can just embellish that.
Great. So tell me a little bit about your the preservation program. You say your preservation program got so big that you had to find a new space for it.
Yeah.
So tell me about that.
Well, it's just the Naked Pig got so popular and so busy that, you know, I was, you know, jarring all of our ketchup, all of our hot sauce, all of our jam, and I'm strict. So I only do it in season when those fruits are available.
Right.
So, you know, when you get the onslaught of that, it's actually the majority of the year here in Sonoma County, which is awesome, but it puts you in a state of constant production.
Right.
And then you have to hold down all of this product for the rest of the year to make sure you can serve all your customers. And we just have so many customers that we really needed more space to be able to produce all
But
of
with
our
that, we also started getting known for accepting the neighborhood's fruits and vegetables. And so we're constantly, during harvest season, getting customers coming in giving us figs or giving us lemons or persimmons or guavas. And so once that started taking shape, then we started being really busy preserving and pickling and fermenting, and
Yeah, each piece of fruit, I feel this obligation to treat in some way, and not let rot. And you know, I actually, part of my full circle preservation is to maintain a compost that is with all the restaurant scraps, and then I use it to fertilize the garden where I grow herbs and flowers for the restaurants.
Perfect.
yeah. We also had a pretty life-changing experience. What kind of helped us form an idea for Flower and Bone is we were in Armenia, and we were driving, and the taxi driver got out of the taxi and started barking at this house because there was a apple tree that was dropping all the apples, and he was collecting all the ones with worms in it and little ants and critters and stuff like that, and he was like yelling at this guy because he wasn't harvesting the fruit that was on the ground.
Wow.
And they were just looking at him like, I don't know, you know. And he gets in the car and he has this like shirt full of apples, and he's handing it to us, and they're eating it, you know. And like it was like, wow, this is the turning point. You know, and so
Or at least for me, it was a place where I could connect with the way that I feel. And so what was so beautiful was that he was recognizing the disgrace and the waste, like some form of public humiliation. He got out of the car and he's like, who's responsible for letting these apples go to waste?
Wow.
You know, and you know, and then we need to do something as a village to deal with these apples going to waste. So
There's like community support
Yeah.
for all that stuff.
Yeah, and there's a
Or
direct
tradition.
connection. Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
direct connection
Yeah.
too with
Connection.
Sonoma County too, because especially in these historic neighborhoods that have historic fruit trees and historic plants, a lot of these fruits are just falling on the ground, and people don't know what to do with it. You know, and so reaching out to them, going, hey, you know, do you mind if we have a trade system with you? You know, where we can collect these Meyer lemons, you know, and we'll give you, you know, breakfast at the
amazing
Naked
brunch,
Pig
yeah.
or
Oh,
something
that's
like
great.
that. Yeah, and so
That's
we started
great.
to do that as well.
So you guys forage around the local area here.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
Tell
yeah.
me about
Most
that.
of the
Say-
foraging is urban foraging.
Okay, great.
Yeah, a little bit of wild foraging, but mostly urban.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what do you forage right here in the city?
Well, I mean, everything,
Lemons
lemons are huge for us because
Figs.
hollandaise sauce is something that we make a ton of at the Naked Pig. But it's not all year round, so we actually have to preserve the citrus itself so that we can use it in the period of time that it's not. And that's not hard to do actually because lemons actually come with their own preservation system ready to go with their high acid and their thick skins.
So I hear you guys have a famous apple tree around the corner. Tell me about that.
I'll let her talk about that.
Yeah, well, actually, my mom has 2 apple trees and 2 plum trees they're each probably about 20 years or getting up there.
Wow.
And so I grew up with them, she put them in, and I've seen them grow, and they have become part of her pantry and extended that pantry to me a little bit, or the access to those raw ingredients so that I could make my pantry.
So as a chef, what inspires you to create your menus? How does that work for you?
Well, I really care a lot about the experience that the customer has. I want it to feel like a little play that you went to. I want it to feel like something that you're not going to forget. And of course, I want the food to taste delicious, but I also want the experience of getting that food to add to your memory.
Right.
So here at this restaurant, I'm focused on the mezza style eating tradition, which is not just about sharing food, but it's also about enjoying individual dishes and how they complement each other. Each dish is prepared not only with the intention of making it taste really delicious, balanced with the rest of the food that you're gonna eat, but also to be visually fun and appealing and aesthetic. And that's kind of the theater of it. So everyone gets really excited about the special bowls and forks and knives that are chosen, as well as the story. I call it the full story rather than a tasting menu because the story is really about preservation. It's a preserve-centric menu. And on this menu, the tasting menu, the full story, you get to really experience the small batch nature of what it means to hand forage and hand make and hand preserve everything. I go out and I pick the flowers that I'm going to be using on those dishes right before I serve, pick the wild weeds right before I serve. I'll take that special small reserved batch of preserve off of the shelf that I don't have enough of to use elsewhere, and it will go on the tasting menu. So it's very special. And then I do handmade dumplings per order.
Wow.
For the tasting menu as well, and that's a Central Asian tradition.
You're really busy back here, aren't you?
Yeah. But it's really just all about inspiring people to continue to live a lifestyle that's healthy for the environment and their bodies.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
inspiring in itself.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
great. Thank you.
Yeah.